Right. Yes, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening to. Welcome to another week, another iteration of the Halftime Podcast, joined by the usual boys, but we're missing Brick. And what did he say last week? What did he say last week?
About Jim, mate. Jim,
Yeah.
Missing Jim again.
No, yeah, but
attendance like a classroom.
yeah, I feel like we can let Jim off. You know, things collide.
He's bettering himself.
He's bettering himself as a man. But Brick, we take attendance like a classroom, and the fact you're not here is incredibly disappointing.
Lost
But
in the ash.
I digress. I digress.
Late Saturday as well, by the way. Do you want to point that out?
Was he?
Yeah, late Saturday.
That I think that's a fine.
That is got
A week's wages docked.
Yeah.
Next time the boys meet up, beers on him.
Yeah. Nuggets as well.
Yeah, good luck, mate.
True.
Good fucking luck.
One, he won't come, and two, he don't
He'll,
fucking
he'll do a Copley, mate. There's my card. Just tap it.
Okay, it's happened once. Guys.
Yeah, by the way,
You read the name, it says H. Copley.
You said.
By the
you
way,
said,
I have him on contact list.
You said
Oh,
meet up, and Brick's put his invisibility cloak on. Pagan.
Anyway, it's another fantastic weekend of football. More talking points. So mainly today we're going to be going through obviously Newcastle, their good result against Brentford, Bournemouth, Leicester, probably one of the biggest upsets of the weekend, I'd say.
No, not upset, but one of the biggest results. Like when it comes to putting someone down for good and confirming sort of some resurgence in a squad.
Obviously, you've got Chelsea's Potter, 2 for 2, I believe, in the league. Or is that across all competitions? I'm not 100%.
Two for two,
yeah. You got Arsenal, Liverpool. That was quite, that we're gonna have to talk a bit about that. I think we're gonna talk a little bit about that. And then we've got Copley's team of the week. So.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
You notice the only two people who are rattled by my team of the week are Arsenal fans. Shock.
What a surprise.
You wait till you find out
Shock
why
horror.
we're rattled.
We'll see why.
Box office.
See why.
We are box office cows.
We don't need to say it. The fact that Arsenal fans are calling themselves box office just shows how box office we are. Anyway, let's get into it. Bran, take it away with the Newcastle. What a result.
What a fucking performance, mate. Bruno Guimaraes, have my children, son. Have my fucking children. No, he was fucking world class. He really was. He does make a huge difference when he's in that squad and he's fully fit. He doesn't do anything flashy. He just does things simple, but with a bit of elegance about him. What else? I think Sean Longstaff was pretty quiet. I don't think he had much to do. It wasn't so much Newcastle were just outstanding. It was just Brentford were fucking shit. Like, we were all talking at the start of the season when they done United, like, fucking hell, this team's going to rattle some of the top.
I just want to emphasise, they didn't do United. They battered them.
No, they done yours, mate. You know what they did? They went straight in, mate.
Pulled our pants down and did the
No
rest.
foreplay, straight anal. Just got bummed. But yeah, I don't know what's gone on with them. We're pretty physically dominant when it comes, if you look at our fucking, 3 out of our back 4, then you've got Joe Linton when he's playing, and then you've got Wilson who's pretty physical, but our 2 wingers aren't that physical. Like, it was
How come Jonathan didn't start?
He's had a problem with his quad just above his knee.
Okay.
But
Is where the
I
quad is.
don't...
Science with Brown.
Obviously, he's learned to talk when the cameras are on and now he's getting a bit brave. Isn't he? Pull that hairline back. Let me see Wagwan. Yeah, he's had a bit of a problem with his upper knee.
I see. Fair enough. I mean, still, a 5-1 result that's a blowout.
Yeah, they had that Pinnock come back to play centre half. Fuck me, he's going straight back on the. I guarantee they wish he was still injured. That fella had a fucking mare.
He scored an Oggy, didn't he? Yeah, he did.
He scored an Oggy. He sold his keeper short for Mickey's
yeah,
goal.
Yeah. And another goal for Miggy, by the way.
He's flying. He's loving a bit of
flying.
October,
He
isn't
scored,
Ever since Grealish said that comment.
He scored more goals this season than Grealish has for City in total.
Really?
So yeah, and
Bruh.
there's the meme
No.
where when Michael Jordan says, "Oh," and I took it personally, and it's just Miggy's face.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think he's hit some form. I said to Chaz the other day, like we are due a battering.
The
Like
comparisons
we are
Carry
due
on.
a fucking battering. What's that?
comparisons between Miggy and Grealish, mate. Mate, the only thing that them two have in common is that they're both accepting Saudi money. That's it. That is literally it. Simple. You need
No,
Jack
no.
Grealish, right?
Yeah, it's true.
I, I,
Miggy's quicker, better finishing.
I reckon come
He's-
January,
So far
Yeah.
this season, mate.
Better
So far this season. Better
come January, I reckon
Oh.
City are going to come knocking for Miggy.
Really?
Yeah.
Trade bill.
Yeah, for Grealish.
I mean, we'll take Grealish as long as it comes with his skincare routine. Yo. No, it was a good weekend for the Toon. Can't lie, it was fucking fantastic. I genuinely can't believe that I know we said when he signed that Bruno was going to be a good fucking player for us, but he changes the dynamic of the game completely, and 2 outstanding goals. So can't really complain whatsoever.
Do you put yourself in the
Penalty
Europa
was a
League
bit
race?
of a, oh. Sorry.
Go on, Aaron. Go on, Aaron. No,
No,
ask
it's-
Aaron.
basically,
No.
no, I was going to say their penalty was a bit of a rough one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like that, I understand why it's a pen. Like if your arms above your shoulder, like if your hands above your shoulder, regardless of whether you're looking at the ball or not, it's going to
Interesting.
get given until it's a top of the table versus Liverpool game, in which case all rules go out the fucking window.
But you did also
It
mention
was-
you did also mention the hand above the shoulder, and obviously Gabriel's wasn't. So, I mean,
That contact, his hand was.
yeah,
above his shoulder,
well,
technically.
Yeah.
it weren't. It weren't.
Anyway,
Like I
Sure,
said,
we'll-
it
we'll
wasn't-
get
it
into this
wasn't-
later.
let's not get
it
so
was a
irate
penalty.
so early
It
on.
was- yeah, it was a penalty.
Because it's
It
brilliant.
was just harsh that he had his back to the ball. That was all
was
it was.
harsh.
It was a penalty, but it was harsh. And right in front of you could see Dan Burn straight away. He's like threw his arms down because he knows that you can't get away with it. It took them about fucking 4 years to come down.
For someone that's tall.
So it doesn't help he's 19 feet.
Yeah.
When you think when the ball's hit his arm, it's about 4 foot above every other player on the pitch anyway. So it was harsh, but 5-1 win in the end. Do I put us in the Europa League contention? I would, depending on what we can pull out in January.
Do you think you need more signings?
Yeah.
I think our back 4, even with Dan Burn at left back, is looking very composed and disciplined. But all it's going to take now is an injury, and we don't want to play the injury bingo.
I think you still need a winger as well. I know
And a
Miggy's
centre mid.
performing.
And a centre mid. You need a centre mid.
Yeah.
Definitely. 100% in a centre
Who's
mid.
your backup
You can't-
keeper?
Pardon? Carrius.
Oh yeah,
No,
Carrius.
surely
yeah.
got someone else.
No, Carrius.
No,
No, we just told.
I mean, Arsenal got a fucking 30. Looks like a 35-year-old from America, mate. So Karius isn't
He's
that
got
bad.
nice eyes though.
Wait, you were giggling to fuck
Carrius
there,
is-
Chaz. What was so funny?
Say it again.
You were giggling to fuck there, you and Chaz. You
Oh
and
no,
Sip.
I think he was giggling at my picture that I put in the
I was,
chat.
yeah, I was, yeah, I
was,
was indeed.
I
But obviously
was-
that was after it came off his chest. Sip,
I was
so-
on VR duty.
Famous chairs.
We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
just,
We'll get to
it's
that.
just Chaz fronting again, and then
No, to be fair,
dickhead.
you know, on Saturday when on Sunday you can hear on Civil Stream that I did think it was a penalty.
But no,
Yeah,
as
you need
far
a
as-
midfielder badly.
I think if we do manage to get our hands on Maddison, it's going to be very, very plausible that we can push for that top 6 area. I'm not gonna go as far as saying we are going to solidify it, because we've drawn too many games that we should have won. And if that comes back to bite us, it's going to be like, fuck's sake, like Bournemouth 1-1, Wolves 1-1, Brighton 0-0. I mean, I'd still take the point away at Brighton, but do you know what I mean? Like the 3-3 against City, perfectly fine. Yeah, midfielder, maybe a winger, and solidify the defense a little bit more. And I think we've got a really, really solid foundation to build on.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
I
Pretty
think as well
good
with
start.
a lot of other teams around you, you're definitely in with a shout. Like
I mean,
West Ham
like-
underperforming, they're meant to be that
Yeah.
kind of top 6 team.
West Ham,
Fucking hell.
Wolves,
Liverpool
Palace,
is still. Ooh, fucking
Villa.
hell.
Villa nowhere near.
Villa nowhere. So I think we've come on leaps and bounds, but like Chaz says, like a couple more signings, and then people will start going, "Oh shit, we are actually playing Newcastle now." Instead of now, everyone's still around the hype that it's like a new start, a new chapter, and I think that hype is like the only reason it's carried on is because of the fans, like, and what Eddie's doing week in, week out. The minute we take a thumping, it's now going to be like, "Oh shit, where can we improve?" Instead of just like riding the hype. So yeah, a couple more signings, a little bit more work, and I think we could be up there by the end of the season. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
You play United next week, don't you?
United next week, and then we've got a
Where?
couple at United.
The first home
Yeah.
game in 5 weeks.
Thank God.
Oh fucking hell! Like that makes a difference, mate. Shut up.
You'll think you're better
Ah,
away,
look at that. You slipped that one in, innit?
Yeah, you had to.
Just a fun fact, really, wasn't that deep?
It's all right. 'Cause when you play at home,
Fun
no
fact
United
of
player
Copley.
makes the team of the week. Come in.
Hey, we beat Liverpool there. And Arsenal. Must make a difference. Must make a difference.
Yeah, home advantage.
Jeez,
that's the
Aaron,
point.
backed up my point. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, home advantage.
I mean, we're going to have to lose some games, aren't we?
Yeah.
Against the
Yeah.
lower
It
teams.
was charitable work, Chaz. Charitable
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
You know what it is? You lost on purpose because you didn't want to ruin the Invincible team.
Oh,
Like, they're like
absolutely
they're like
not.
your baby. So you thought
Yeah,
we'll lose
exactly.
one and then win every other game.
Yeah,
Exactly. I mean, like
I
in the
like
great
it.
words of the best managers to ever live, the Invincible teams were simply just the best team to ever grace the Premier League. So yeah, I agree with you, 100%.
I don't
Yeah.
remember Eddie Howe saying that.
anyway, enough
Let's
of
move
yip
on.
yap.
Let's move on before
Yeah.
Chaz starts slating Newcastle more.
No,
Get back to the next point.
No slating of Newcastle from me.
Good man.
So Bournemouth currently, I'm just pulling up the table. After
eighth.
9 intense Premier League games, a rocky start, they currently sit in 8th. They've had 12 points from 9. What a fucking turnaround! It was game week 3 where not necessarily a turnaround, but
Yeah, I don't think it was
They're
ever.
definitely exceeding expectations.
but
for that squad.
even when
Yeah,
they were
definitely.
playing, when they were getting battered, don't remember when they lost 9 to Liverpool, they lost to City, lost to Arsenal, I think it was. Like, but they still didn't look like a Premier League standard football team.
No.
Like
No.
9-0 to Liverpool is
Not even close.
that's like 30-0 to any other Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know
of
what?
recent
You know
years.
what made it worse is that Liverpool done that, and then instantly went back to shitness.
Yeah.
Which made Bournemouth look worse. Like made
Bournemouth-
them look shitter
As of
than
right
shit.
now, Bournemouth have played. They have won a game more than Liverpool.
That's wild.
So tough.
That's
That's actually
mad.
crazy.
Jim, I'm so sorry because I'm going to make you listen to this when we ask you to like the video again. But yeah, the fact Bournemouth they've got the worst ground to ever grace the Premier League. They've got one of the worst squads on paper. When you read their squad
Yeah.
players, you just think, "Fuck me."
Who?
Yeah.
Fucking
No.
Julie down at the recreational park could run these rounds, and they're getting results. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're grinding out results. And fair play to them. Sacking Scotty P so early, getting fucking mudded by Liverpool when Liverpool are shit, would have took a knock. So for them to come back at some point during the season was just out of anyone's thoughts. So fair play to them.
From what I've read, that little Christie who came on the second half versus Arsenal, and he was the only player who was like actually doing anything. But apparently he's playing quite well. Got a couple of
Yeah.
assists and
He
goals.
did,
recently.
yeah. From the highlights I saw, he was quite influential.
I mean, taking nothing away from Bournemouth, obviously, but obviously Leicester got their early goal with Daka, and then it took till the 68th minute for Bournemouth, and then they scored again in the 71st. Like, if you just looking at those the timestamps for the goals, just thinking, how the fuck have Leicester just like lost
Yeah,
all composure?
capitulated.
These are the games they need to be winning as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you saw it against. You saw, like Leicester against Arsenal. Like Leicester would get back in it, and I mean, later,
Indeed.
mate, they were down again, and
Mm.
they have no composure whatsoever, and which is really strange because they've got on paper they've got a pretty decent team, I think.
They've got a
Yeah,
very good
they-
team.
They've got a much better team than how they're
No.
performing. And these games against away to Bournemouth when you 1-0 up with 25 minutes left to then lose
Yeah.
2-1. is well.
Al,
especially
don't
after
you dare say it. He wants to. He wants to. I'm sorry, Zip.
What do you want to say?
He's seen
Be
Be
real.
Real go off, and he's taking his fucking Be Real mid fucking podcast. This guy is a cretin. Get him off.
I think
Sorry,
As you
Sip, as you
I,
were.
I was just saying after the potential momentum builder of that Forest
Mm.
game, and that could have been, like a sort of the start of their season. They'll be very disappointed to have just fucking then lost. So
Yeah, and
Yeah,
their fans don't look happy.
No.
Again, it's similar to officiating. I think we've said this every week so far. How much longer does Brendan have? I understand he's got his big contract deal and whatnot, but my guy's sitting at 19th, 4 points from 9, having won one game, and I forget who that was against.
Last
Forest.
week, Forest.
it was
Forest
Forest,
last
yeah.
week.
Who were also rock bottom with him.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they've just offered. They just gave Thingy a new contract.
Well, they play
Yeah.
they play Villa tonight,
Complete-
don't they?
Completely
Yeah.
against what the rumours were
Record
as well.
this
Yeah.
on Monday.
I mean,
Le-
if they're
Leicester
still in
is
this
the
position
finance-
if they're still in this position at come the World Cup, like joint bottom, I'm putting it down to they can't afford to sack him.
Yeah, no, I think
So there's
that's
no
what it is
way
now.
you can be like, oh, what is it? Is that actually halfway through the season, the World Cup? Mathematically,
near
roughly.
enough. Near enough. Yeah,
You can't.
three
Well,
or
how many
4
would-
games.
It'd be just
before.
before the
We only
halfway
played
point.
9
Oh no, yeah.
games,
So it'll be
yeah.
like a third and a bit through.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like
So
what,
like,
14
if
games
you're that
or
far
something.
into a season
Yeah,
and you're
3 or
still
4
rock
before,
bottom as Leicester, you can't. I just don't like. No matter how much the fans enjoy him or like him or what he's done before, you can't keep him there. You just
Yeah.
can't. So I'm putting it down to
I don't think
they're financially
can they,
that fucked.
Just quickly, I don't. Who's available for them to bring in that would do a better job? Because
Sean
I can't
Dyche.
put it. No, I can't put
Um,
it just. Rafa's there.
So look, I think
You got to also realise who can they get?
he's a proven Premier League manager. He's recently been sacked. When I say recently, I think it was this morning. Steve Bruce.
No.
He's been sacked.
No, not
Yeah,
Steve
West Brom
Bruce.
sacked him this
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Get Steve
Oh,
Bruce
yeah.
at Leicester. He'll keep them up.
Mate, no,
No,
this is what I'm saying.
He'll
Like,
confirm they're
regardless,
going down.
yeah, he'll confirm that going down with 20 games to go. Mate. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, imagine
It's-
if Leicester were to go down, yeah,
Hmm.
it would be the biggest rise to fall the Premier League's
Yeah.
ever seen. Surely, like, bigger than like the whole Leeds thing and stuff like that. It was like to go
Probably,
and do
yeah.
what they've done, and have a couple of seasons after that where they still continue to do
The
well.
only thing probably comparable would probably be either the Sunderland Wigan, where they don't go wrong, they didn't win anything,
I
but
think it's.
they were in the Prem for years and then just dropped down to League Two.
I think
imagine-
Sunderland's pretty comparable to it.
No,
That's
but
the only
purely-
thing comparable,
yeah.
really,
Purely
in my
because
eyes.
I think one with Leicester's age and squad as well, right? Aside from Tielemans, Maddison, and Barnes, right? If they go down and them 3 players go, they've got no money to get top level championship quality in anyway. So the possibility of them going down and coming straight back up are like even slimmer. So it's a case of they need to survive just to have the funding to survive again next season, because they're not going to survive in the championship either.
2 years
Not
ago,
that well anyway.
not last year, but 2 years ago, for like a good 2 or 3 years, they were, or even actually, yeah, no, that they
Fighting for
were
Europa
quote
League.
unquote fighting to be the
They were-
big 6
Yeah,
when
yeah,
Arsenal
yeah,
were like
last
really
season.
muddied. They were going to
Best
be
of
they
the
were going to be
rest,
the new
yeah.
big 6. They spent the most time in the top 4 like ever to not get top 4
Well,
or
to get
just in
in.
general,
Mm.
and now they're looking at. Again, it is
That's what I
technically still
mean.
early on.
We're
But they're
still-
still fucking rock bottom.
It might be early on, mate, but they've got fucking
Like,
4 points.
You say
Like
that
it
it's
is,
a season.
that's crazy.
Who
Well,
did,
like-
who did they get? Who did they get the draw against?
Villa, not Villa, sorry. It was the first day of the season. Was it not?
hang on, let me get results.
They went 2-0 up. Bournemouth.
Oh, was it Bournemouth or Southampton?
No, Bournemouth beat
Brentford.
Villa
Brentford.
first.
it was
Brentford,
first game of
yeah,
the season against
Brentford,
Brentford. Yeah, Sips, all right.
So
Um,
there's no. I can't see, even if they could get rid of Rodgers, I don't see a manager coming in that does anything more, because I
Yeah.
don't think with these performances, this isn't just Rodgers. You've got their squad on paper needs to be performing a lot fucking better.
yeah,
So
no,
it's not just
100%.
Rodgers, don't
But
get me wrong.
no, obviously, and Brendan Rodgers will always get all the hate because he's the manager at the end of the day. But you're absolutely right. The players, obviously, Maddison's doing Maddison type things every other week or whatnot. But Harvey Barnes, what has he done this year? Obviously, Vardy's, I think, been dropped now. I think Daka is finally starting regularly, or at least he has for the last 3 or 4 games. But even the back line, like that, I can't say his name, so someone's gonna have to say it for me. But
Baz.
Phase.
New guy.
no, the Turkish
New guy,
geezer,
Afro.
So
Soyuncu.
that's the one. Like I don't think he's starting anymore.
He doesn't play for anymore.
Oh,
No.
doesn't.
So he hasn't made an appearance this year, and like he was a big part of their team for the last 2-3 years, you could say. I don't know how long he's been there, but it's
Two
something around
seasons.
that. This is his 5th season, so strange. It's very bizarre. But I mean, going back to the financial thing that you're mentioning, Bran, even if you're looking at Forest, if they go down, they're also fucked.
Oh, they are beyond fucked.
Because
You know those players have got
They've got a fucking rich owner, mate. They ain't fucked.
well,
That's what they haven't got. They haven't
but
got money.
I'm thinking those players are going to have a relegation clause.
Oh,
Yeah.
because
That's
Lingard's.
what I'm saying. I reckon they brought in 26 players. 21 of them are going if they get relegated.
The thing is, a lot of them. Obviously, Lodi's only a loan. I know Lingard's only a 1-year deal. Probably a lot of the other is probably only a 1-year deal, or with a massive relegation clause.
There'll be relegation clause, but they wouldn't be as fucked financially as Leicester would be.
You know, I think.
No, but we're talking.
We'll
with
just
the
be fucked in terms
outspend-
of players going.
Yeah.
and then they're going to have to spend again, which is then going to fuck them. Like in that way, not they're gonna go down and instantly go, oh for fuck's sake, we've lost all. They're gonna have to like, if they go down and half their players that they brought in leave, they're gonna have to then go, right. Well, we need the same amount of players that we just brought in, or close enough, to get us back
To be
up.
fair to them, like last season, I think in the transfer window they did also lose like 14 players or something like that. So they had to sign players.
It was a big rebuild.
They had to sign players.
But again, you kind of see new players. Well, when you see that number of new players come in, it's going to take a while for them to adapt, not only to the manager but also the league. Like not all of them are Premier League players. Premier League players.
We said like when they had like 15 signings, like that's a lot of new signings. Then they kept going. It was like 20. That's normally when a club brings in a new player, like they've got to adapt to the team if they don't know the manager. This is a whole new like 2 starting 11s.
Do you think that was the manager
it was never
or
gonna...
the board like seeking opportunities? Because there's no
I
way
don't see a manager says I want 23 new players or whatever. It was in the 20s.
It had to be the board thinking like they're playing Football Manager.
Yeah,
because
that's never going to work. Because
he thought it was one big PR stunt to be on Sky Sports.
But I think, but then if you look at it, the manager, I forget his name, but he could have just turned around and said, "This team is not Premier League ready. That they will not survive. I need investment."
They made late deals as well, no?
Yeah.
So I reckon he's got most of his preseason done, right? He's going for it. He's going, right, we're not at a caliber. I need players. The board have gone, right, okay, there's 7. You can't integrate 7 players that quickly and making them all fit in, right? And then
100%.
he's gone, right, it's still not clicking. And the board have just gone, right, there's another 10. So he sat there and he's gone, he's got a chessboard with 45 pieces and he doesn't know what to fucking do.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing it with United. Obviously, I don't want to talk too much about him, but like Casemiro looks lost. He doesn't look like the Casemiro we know from Madrid Champions League winners.
No,
but
definitely
but
not.
but he because that single player is still adapting to the team. How are you expecting fucking 20 odd players at Forest to do it in a brand new league? Most of them again haven't played in the Premier League. Morgan Gibbs-White I think played for Wolves last year. Oh yeah, he was on loan. But okay, he's still young, so he's probably got a nice career ahead of him. But most of the other players probably have never played anything close to Premier League.
They spent like 40 million on him.
Yeah, on one player.
But I think
smart deals. They've made some smart
so
deals.
he's English and he's 20. He's 21, 20, one or the other. So that's obviously an investment that probably in 2 years' time probably build around him potentially. Whatever.
When you make an investment like that, you're investing in the future. Your future needs to be solidified.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You brought in 25 other players and sitting at the bottom of the table.
Look, Morgan Gibbs-White was not an investment. Not a chance. No, not a chance. I don't think you spend £50 million
on a 2021-year-old Englishman.
They brought Morgan Gibbs-White in to be
but
their star of the season, mate.
But you can say that with like Nunes is an investment, isn't he?
Copley.
I think what
I'm being serious. Nunes, no one expects Nunes to walk into this league and light it up. He was an investment.
But I think what Cal's saying
that's
is
what
Gibbs
Liverpool.
White, because he's young and English, they might be able to recoup some of their money back if they go down and then hopefully have to sell him.
Yeah,
He just never showed that amount of price tag.
in my mind, an investment is you buy something and you wait until the price is higher to sell him on.
But that is also part of the investment. If you buy a player like a 21-year-old Englishman, they could potentially set the team a lot. That he could be the face of Forest for this year, keep them up.
I don't think he's
and then boom.
That's far too much risk. You wouldn't know.
But for a team like Forest,
investing into his future, in 2 years.
A team like Forest, you're not going to get someone like I can't think of another young Englishman that, but whatever, like
Gallagher.
Yeah, I mean, they probably could. Well, Chelsea probably would have said no, but that kind of thing. If they bought Gallagher for 30-40 million, would that have been an investment?
Well, Gallagher was already he had an unreal season at Palace. The simple fact is, they bought Morgan Gibbs White in to be their star man this season. They spent 40 million on the bloke.
Oh, yeah, I'm not denying that.
Not a fucking Scooby-Doo.
No, yeah, exactly.
But as Sip said a lot when the Harry Kane stuff was going on, if he was 40 million to Wolves, he's 40 million.
I don't think he was 40 million to Wolves.
Yeah. They kept shipping him out. They needed goals and they still shipped him out. They were like, nah, it's fine.
Just like Nunes definitely wasn't 100 million to Benfica. I saw I don't know how true they were, but I saw a report saying that they couldn't believe it.
No, that was copy and pasted from Fred when we bought Fred.
Was it actually?
I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Fantastic.
When we bought Fred, Shakhtar were like, I couldn't believe it. It's copy and pasted. I'm pretty sure it is at least.
Enough of these bloody
shit teams.
Clubs.
Fucking
both of those clubs are in for the worst season.
We do not build that reputation from the Boys Presents. I'm sorry for my fellow colleagues.
Let's speak.
I like that, Aaron. I like that.
Yeah, fuck this
nice
club.
To hear you, Aaron. I thought you fell asleep.
No, look,
because you lot were boring.
We can say we don't like Chelsea, but I'm a big fan of Potter, and he's getting results.
Ron Weasley.
Like Potter.
Oh shit!
Sorry. Stop it.
I mean, they played a struggling Wolves side who can't score a goal, but they got through it.
This is factual. Wolves are fucking pony.
This season can't defend
comfortably. So I mean, they had major squad rotation at the weekend. Aubameyang didn't play. They started Pulisic.
He was scored a worldie as well.
Shall I tell you what he's done? He's come after my FPL. Potter, you little fucking weasel. Right, my FPL was looking pretty.
Have you not seen the reason? Sorry, I was going to go away from FPL quickly. I mean, the potential reason why Aubameyang didn't start is I don't know if you guys have seen the report of Aubameyang apparently wants to transfer in January to go to PSG.
I don't think that was the reason why I didn't play him. I think he was rotating. He didn't start. His two.
That would make sense if he only dropped Aubameyang.
Arguably.
But he's dropped
He dropped Sterling.
Sterling, James, Aubameyang. So there's your three key players for Chelsea.
Paid off 1-3-0.
I mean,
Wolves. Wolves.
Oh yeah, it is Wolves, but it's still Chelsea have been I'd say piss poor and struggling to score.
Starting Kepa as well.
Oh, you're spitting bars.
Kepa starts for them now. Mendy doesn't get.
Yeah, which is
interesting.
Very interesting.
But I mean, yeah, Chelsea looked okay. From what I can gather, it was literally one-way traffic for the whole game, pretty much. But Wolves, their woes are they continue and they continue to continue. It's not looking good for them.
Can I ask a question on the Chelsea front?
Yeah.
What's going to happen if Chelsea go through another shit playing shit football and another rough patch?
This is the thing. So obviously
Potter's been in the job for a very short amount of time, but we are seeing a little bit of evidence on how he wants them to start playing football, right? How he wants to set up in a more dynamic fashion. You've got Mount floating in and out. I know we take the piss out of him sometimes and say he's a work rate merchant, but it's no longer Reece James. If Reece James doesn't have a good game, Chelsea are fucking mudded.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. But we're seeing with Chelsea for God knows how long under their Roman Abramovich reign, it was if a manager isn't doing what the board expect him to do, he's gone pretty quickly. Whereas this is the first manager that this Bohi, but whatever he says his name, has brought on. In my mind, Thomas Tuchel was a veteran of the game and wanted what he wanted, whereas Graham Potter is this manager that came from absolutely nowhere, done a good job at Swansea, done a fantastic job at Brighton. I actually feel like there's potential that Potter could be a bit of a yes man towards Bowie.
Yeah.
I think I said that a few
So,
weeks ago. Is that one of the main reasons why he was appointed? Because if Bowley says I'm giving you Ronaldo in January, Potter's gonna be like, okay, yes, please, thank you.
Yeah, I think he would try and make him work. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see the approach that the Chelsea board have now they've got these new owners. So.
Well, I just had a look at their fixtures, right? So they've got Villa, Brentford, and then United, Brighton, Arsenal, Newcastle, and then they've got the World Cup. So out of the 5 games? Yeah, 6 games. Sorry, 4 of them are pretty. They could be potential tough games. Obviously, with United, Brighton, Chelsea. No, they are Chelsea, Arsenal, and Newcastle. So
I wouldn't believe this fella plays Football Manager, folks. He lives and breathes FM.
Yeah, too right. Just under a month till the new one comes out. Come on. But that could be the little rough patch, and obviously going into the World Cup, it probably could have come at a good time if they lose all 4 of them.
I think Chelsea get top 4 this season. I think with Tuchel they will get top 4 this season. I mean, they're sitting in 4th with 8 games played, 5 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. They're only 8 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand. So, I mean, I don't think there was ever really any cause for concern in the first place.
They have been silent creepers as well, Chelsea, to be fair, because when we watched their performances at the start of the season, we all sat there and said, we all sat there and said they are pony. They're just getting results and decisions. They beat Leicester whilst being down to 10 men. And they beat them.
Got a result. Got a decision.
Got a decision. Beat
Palace
Leicester going down to 10 men, and they beat them after having a man sent off.
Decision they had with West Ham as well.
Oh yeah,
so we were all sitting there going, "Nah, Chelsea are going to be mudded because they're only getting these because of these jammy coin flips, basically."
They still are.
But they're silently creeping up, and they're silently getting results are results. So when they're only gone,
I was just saying, that's why we were surprised that when the Tuchel did get this out. Obviously, we were sitting there going, "Yeah, they're playing pretty shit, but they're getting results." But
I don't think that Tuchel sacking was 100% performance based.
No,
it wouldn't have been.
Well, you don't think it couldn't have been because they were still there or thereabouts. So
that's when Kelce's come Christmas time, the World Cup. If they're lose a few games, from what I've seen with this Ted Bowler bloke, who knows what he could do. It would at this point. It wouldn't surprise me if he sacks Potter if he loses 3 in a row.
Mate, he might
wouldn't surprise me.
He might both spend 300 million in the fucking game. Right?
Ronaldo, hey,
fucking
profit.
He'll buy anyone and everyone. He's fucking.
Yeah. He needs enough players to fit out his 4-4-3.
He just looks like he's a bloke that he's an American bloke that's used to American sport that will just.
Yeah, sounds and everything.
How rich is he / his company that has bought Chelsea?
So he must be very fucking.
No, but
does he own the Broncos as well? The Denver Broncos.
I mean, the blunt question is how much money will he put in? Hundreds and hundreds of millions.
His net worth 5.3 billion.
Okay, that answers.
That's him alone.
Pocket change, mate.
That answers the question. Never mind.
Considering
Chelsea going to be all right.
I think considering he came in and they spent £250 million, right? That's how. Did they not spend that much?
No,
£250 million. What the fuck is that?
Even like cows.
Bowie owns.
It was
Chelsea.
250 million.
He owns
20%. £250 million. Yeah.
He owns Chelsea,
Shut up.
right? He owns 20% of the Dodgers. He's a part owner in the LA Sparks. He is the owner of DraftKings. And he owns Cloud9 as well.
Oh,
finger in pie.
He's got fingers in pies left, right, and fucking Narnia,
Chelsea's net spend in 2022, 201.3 million. Second to Newcastle.
2.01.
Right? Yeah.
Second to Newcastle.
Because it goes off.
That much?
Well, considering Tripp, Burn, Bruno, because they came in January.
Yeah.
So 2022.
Okay.
Isak.
So it goes like that. But yeah, Isak as well. That was 63 million. There's a third of it, pretty much.
Yeah, fair.
So it's Chelsea aren't for lack of spending, regardless of who owns them. The board itself will scrape enough fucking pennies together. It's just whether Potter has the bollocks to say, no, I do not want that 37-year-old
don't.
Brazilian CDM called Fred. Fuck off.
Hmm.
Unless he's playing in the 10. But yeah, I think like I am on your wavelength. I think if Bowley says, listen, I want you to play with this player, I want this player to start, he will at the moment, because he's very, very fresh in this role, he's just going to go, yeah, and try and make the best of what he's being told to do. But they're getting results, so I think whatever way it's going, if they keep grinding out results, it won't fucking matter.
The thing I'm interested in is what would class as a successful season for Chelsea, because the way they were going, they were still going to get top 4. It looks like they were there or thereabouts. So
They're
I
nowhere
don't.
near the top like 2, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
No. But I don't think they have been for like the last few years. Realistically, Man City and Liverpool have been sort of in a league of their own.
Yeah.
But so I don't know what their board will finish the season when we go. That was a good season. That was the right move to get rid of Tuchel.
I think coming into the season, I don't think anyone will sit down and be like, "Thank God we got rid of Tuchel." But I think the kind of similar boat to probably United, Spurs, but probably just mainly them two. Like, if you get top 4, like that's a decent enough season.
I think the thing that spoke volume of the whole Tuchel thing was that when he got given the sack, I think Chelsea fans were actually a bit upset and a bit like, what the fuck? What's happened here?
They got to 2 cup finals last year.
Yeah.
I don't see him doing that this year.
Well, he won them a Champions League as well after losing Frank halfway through. So it's not like he hasn't proved himself already at that club with those players. I think like Kieran said, like Tuchel would have got the results that Chelsea are getting now. I don't know what. It's not performance based, and I think in the grand scheme of things, I would still rather have Tuchel over Potter at Newcastle as a manager. I think most of you would as well, no? If you wanted an experienced manager to come in who knows the game inside out at a top level.
Oh, at the top level.
Me personally, I don't think I'd want Tuchel. But
No.
What if Arteta went?
No,
Yeah.
I don't like his football.
No?
I hate it.
It's too negative. I'm like,
Talking earlier,
you know the way Arsenal have played over the years. It's always been free flowing, hasn't it? So to go back to a negative style of football. I don't think
talking earlier regarding the available managers to potentially replace Brendan Rodgers, Tommy T.
No.
Absolutely not.
He's taking a piss.
He's taking a phone call.
PSG, Chelsea, Leicester.
What are you smoking?
He's got to be addicted to heroin.
What's in that vape now?
Before he even contemplates that.
Jesus,
My
what's
word.
what you got?
Look,
Can you
This
imagine?
vape's shit.
We've seen crazier things in the world of football. We saw
I don't
Rafa
think we
Benitez
have.
at Everton.
That's not that crazy compared to fucking Thomas Tuchel.
No, not even Rafa Benitez. Carlo, what's his name? Ancelotti.
Yeah.
That was
That was
That
weird.
was wild. That was
But
wild.
can you imagine his
Thank you.
face? He
1-0
turned up
count.
to training. He's had 30-odd-year-old Thiago Silva, world-class centre half. He looks at Leicester squad and sees big Johnny Evans. And David Luiz's second coming. No, thank you. He'd be back in his car. He'd take the gates on the way out. Boom. He's straight back to Germany.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's move on from that.
Yes, nice little segue into one of the more controversial games.
Oh, absolutely. What a game.
I wouldn't even say the game was controversial because.
Oh, I think it was. I think it was.
There were turning points in the game that were very controversial.
If we're going to literally break it down to these kind of like the things we're about to talk about, sure, but Arsenal deserved the 3 points and they deservedly got them. It's just the controversial bit, obviously, which we're about to go into, is what happened in.
I want to start out with, before we get into the penalty shouts, to me watching it, it was almost a game of 2 halves.
Oh,
in the first half, Liverpool played fucking a lot better. They're not unbelievable. They didn't play unbelievable, but they played a lot fucking better.
They had a lot of the ball.
And
they had a lot of the
it
ball.
was very,
did nothing
very
with it.
comfortable.
They were
Arsenal,
comfortable.
Yeah, Arsenal didn't put them under the pressure that I thought they would.
I don't know what, like, I don't know if it was a game plan or just Arsenal didn't turn up for the first half. Like, Arsenal weren't Arsenal in the first 45 minutes. It was so strange.
They didn't give. Liverpool had a lot of the ball, but we got an early goal, and I think the early goal might have actually thrown potential first half tactics in the bin a little bit. I don't think they would have expected. I don't think they would have expected to fucking score that early. But I mean, look, apart from one hoofed ball forward that ended up on it being put into Diaz's stride, Arsenal kept Liverpool pretty
Oh
quiet. I would
no,
say
Liverpool didn't create.
the way it felt, the way it felt was Arsenal of last year or the year before, where we sit there and we dominate a half for God knows how long. We have 70% possession and we can see 2 goals in the counter attack. Like that's how it felt watching Liverpool on Sunday.
Yeah.
But
I thought,
Just wanna-
go on.
I know you said that you kept them pretty quiet, but for the amount of time Liverpool had with the ball, surely it becomes a numbers game, right? It's going to be not if, it's going to be how long till. Because with that much time on the ball in the first half, your defensive line was immaculate up until Gabriel with that hoof ball over the top. They weren't getting anywhere. Like Nunez was making runs, but he was about 7 yards offside before the ball
He
was
was
played.
horrific.
Yeah. So at that point in time, with that amount of time Liverpool had on the ball, and use a 1-0 up, sitting deep, it becomes just a numbers game.
We weren't
sitting deep.
So
They weren't sitting deep.
that's why
The issue was I don't know
not
what the
sitting deep, but just inviting Liverpool to, or letting Liverpool have the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I say it's very
Liverpool
anti-Arsenal.
literally played ollie ball. They were hoofing it over the top.
They were.
From Schmickas to Salah, and not
One
even
thing-
getting near Salah,
So-
to Nunes, not even getting near Nunes. I don't know what the fuck
So I
Liverpool were
watch-
doing.
I
Lost the
read-
plot.
I read an Arsenal fan who does an analytical breakdown of each Arsenal game, and he said in like his breakdown, he said that where we're so used to watching Arsenal forwards defend from the front and just put like the keeper and the defenders on under constant pressure, yeah. You watch Erdegaard and you watch Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus, and they weren't pressing that much. They were sitting just in front of Henderson and Thiago, and the press was nowhere near as intense as it has been in previous games. And that was obviously some form of game plan or whatever. But that probably was another reason as to why Liverpool seemed like they had so much more control in that first half. I mean, our midfielders didn't get on the ball anywhere near enough. We weren't playing the intricate, confident football in the first half. But in regards to like defending from the front, we definitely did sit off them a little bit, which is also probably why, as Copley said, Tsimikas was constantly punting the ball forward towards Salah. So
I think the couple of times that you did trigger the press, I think Liverpool done very well to keep playing out of it.
Yeah,
I
the
think
reason
Thiago got on the
them
ball a lot.
Yeah,
I said
And I think
during the
that-
game to Sip, I was like, you as well, Brandon. I was like, Thiago's getting on the ball far too much. for my
yeah, and it
liking.
wasn't. It used as much as you looked like comfortable to a certain extent. That's why I said it's just a number. When someone with that quality is on the ball so much,
They
all
weren't-
right, he didn't find a pass that broke his open. It was a long ball over the top, but he has the quality to.
Yeah.
And on any other day, he could have. So that's why I said, use trigger the press, and Liverpool played out of their fucking mind compared to what they have been in that first half.
Whilst we were watching it, I think we mentioned it a couple. It was just very strange. Assuming it was a match plan, very well done from Arteta, but it was just bizarre seeing Arsenal not controlling the game, not having the ball. It was almost, as I said, it was almost like, where the fuck are they? Because we're so used for the last 8 games. We're so used for the first 8 games of the season. We've seen Arsenal have 60, 70, sometimes even 8% of the ball and creating chances, blowing out teams, or just scoring goals and constantly creating.
We said in the first half, Jesus being remarkably quiet in the first half.
Yeah.
Martinelli, apart from the goal, Martinelli was doing his bit down the left, but not as much as he has been against other teams.
Martinelli was unreal all game. He was unreal.
That second goal was so clinical. It was so fucking fast.
Yeah.
But going on to the second half, it was very much like a mirror image of what happened in the Arsenal Spurs game, where in the Spurs game Arsenal scored for.
Over it. I'm just sat here quietly.
No, but in the Arsenal Spurs game, Arsenal scored first, and Spurs got back into it and started playing well towards the end of the first half. And you go into half time, and then the Arsenal that come out in the second half were a complete different Arsenal.
I want to know what Arteta said to them, mate. Kieran, give us a little rendition.
fucking God, guys.
But like,
Well,
Do
you
not
know,
let him cry at you.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely a picture of Nunes over a whiteboard or something. What an idiot! Who does that at 1-1? What?
Yeah,
What
honestly.
an idiot!
Especially with the start of the season he's had.
But let me-
The missed chances he's had.
That was his- That was his second
Like,
Premier League
second half.
goal, and he was caught offside probably about 15 times against Arsenal alone. It was horrific.
You know, let's take. Go on, Sip.
I was just saying he's moving like speed in the side men.
Look his step overs,
you know,
his
let's
position
take-
awareness.
Hey, copy me, y'all.
Let's take Liverpool's goal out of it. You know, it was the run by Firmino and the finish was unreal. Saliba
Yeah, it was
spun,
a good goal. It was
but
a good goal.
it was a class goal. Let's take that goal away from it, yeah. And Liverpool offered fucking fuck all in that second half.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
suddenly in that second half, you know, Partey was like dominating the midfield. Jack was making those runs forward, running down the channel. Where Martinelli was coming inside. Tommy Asu was getting on the ball a lot more from the left back position.
Ben
linking up
White.
with Ben White was fucking here, there, and everywhere.
He turned into Reece James. at
We
one
said
point,
in
mate.
the
He was
watch along, he's like,
absolutely flying
he's going to get a
He was-
nosebleed if he's this far on the
Mate,
pitch.
it was really, really good. And then suddenly in that second half, Jesus just comes alive, and he goes back. He goes back to being the little fucking bulldog,
Little shit he
shit.
is.
I mean,
Little
I think
bastard.
He's so
Do you know
quick.
what?
He's so quick
I
with the ball
mean,
at his feet.
after we scored the penalty, I tweeted about it. I felt we like played that scenario out, and like the changes at the back to bring Tierney on at left wing back, and the way we played after that was just it was top class. Like we looked really, really good in my opinion.
You just did.
but-
I don't think there was in that second half. You could really pinpoint, apart from the Saliba thing.
I mean, if you
couldn't
take
pinpoint, you couldn't pinpoint much that Arsenal did wrong, if at all.
I feel like
And
if you take out the referee and performance, I don't think there'll be many people that would say that Liverpool deserved to win that game.
No,
I
you're
think
right.
Arsenal were by far the better team. But I mean, let's talk about like the referee.
I just-
first,
yeah.
go on.
No, it's fine.
I say firstly with the referee, yeah. Forget about like the penalties and that. There were probably in the 90 minutes there were probably 5 or 6 fouls in the middle of the park for either team that were 100% free kicks that he just refused to give.
See,
So that
at the time, I'm thinking, right, like the main one I keep going to is Martinelli I think on the left side, where
mate,
someone just absolutely shoulder barged him off. Like, sure, that's a foul, but the only reason I'm thinking he hasn't given it and why he didn't give a few of those, it's a big game, like it's going to get slightly rough.
It's just
Yeah.
a game to play, yeah.
But
That's
like
fair enough.
it gets to a point where like again, even in this game alone, it's consistency.
Mm.
yeah, and I mean like
If he
obviously
didn't shove him off the pitch, that's a foul. The fact he's gone off the pitch and into the billboard because the ball's then gone out of play.
Yeah.
He thinks, Arsenal can just have to throw it. No, my dude, he's pushed him into the crowd. Like, he
Yeah.
sent him flying. It was a dodgy one. I think me and Chaz were counting the Simicast fouls.
he
and there was
made
about
he
four
made
in 15
He
minutes
made
or something.
4 and none of them got
You
penalised.
got
and
like
then
elbows up
Oh,
in Saka,
mate.
which
No,
was
but
again a foul.
What one?
I think it was on Saka.
First half.
No,
Hey,
it
to
was
be
that
honest,
first
the elbow
half.
on Jesus, right? Yeah, I personally there
No.
was obviously nothing in it at all. Yeah, but
Okay.
it was a free kick. Yeah, and
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
referee
Oh.
blew up for a free kick.
Yeah.
right. But
And
then
then
Liverpool
kicked
got the
the
ball back. I was like, what
Yeah,
the fuck is all
I
that
don't think he.
about?
I don't think he blew it for a free kick.
No,
I
he-
think he
I think he like you know when like someone goes down, he just blows the whistle so the ball
But
gets kicked
for
out.
the-
I think
Yeah.
that's
No,
what-
but
I
it
don't
was
think he
his
blew it for a
arm.
free kick.
He made the signal for a free kick to Arsenal. He pointed towards Liverpool goal. which
But
in my mind is
even
for a
before
free
that,
kick.
it shouldn't even got to that because Odegaard went down holding his
That was
face.
a head injury. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is stop play, and the fact it's even gone
Yeah.
on. And don't worry, Arsenal playing on, both teams are playing on, but that it's the ref's game. He needs to fucking stop that. If Odegaard is down, holding his
He did have a
face.
bad game. He did have a bad game. But I mean, like, so the first, I guess, big decision was obviously the first goal. And I think Copley put it in the chat earlier that there wasn't a camera available to see, also to draw the lines or whatever for
That's
the
mental.
potential
They
offside.
couldn't see
I-
Ben White and Saka in the same picture
I thought
across the
I
5
thought,
cameras.
I personally thought Saka
I-
was off. I was
Yeah,
thinking
it
that's
So did I.
ruled out.
from
That's
our
ruled
eyes, it
out.
looks off, which is why I like even after the game, I was like, can we just see the lines? Because
Yeah.
I'm very curious how close it is.
We were very baffled, me, Kieran, and
was-
Chaz.
We-
I
look,
I was like,
I was-
yeah,
when are these-
we were the
when are
same. We
the
were like, that's
lines gonna be
offside.
put
I said
on
it on
so we can
stream.
see?
I said it on
Because,
stream.
From the
Yeah.
still that they showed us, it did look like Saka's
Rear
Right
leg,
leg.
His right
Yeah,
leg on the turn was, and it wasn't just. I mean, it was tight, but it was clear. Do you know what I mean? Like you could see that it wasn't front, and then we were all saying, right, so when are the lines going to show?
Yeah.
Like, let me see
literally.
it, please.
I thought
And
I'd done
then-
it again.
Chaz is celebrating and then screaming about,
Mate.
oh shit, he's offside.
Yeah,
I thought
literally.
I'd
And then
done it
all
again.
of a
That's what it was.
sudden, the cameras just panned back to kickoff, and
Yeah,
then we've heard the whistle.
My
And we're like,
celebration
"Fucking
curse.
fuck."
and then for the potential penalty, I said during
Is
the
this a
stream-
Gabriel one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said that I said that's a penalty. I said it's a
Yeah.
penalty. I still do think it was a penalty, but I think it was one of those ones that was. It was probably like the finest of margins between being a penalty and not being a penalty. I don't know what the VAR looked at. I don't know what the referee was thinking in the moment in time. I mean, the ball does come off of his chest. I still think it's a penalty.
I've heard you say. Let me just
I
say
don't
a
see
bit
it
of-
come off his
I
chest.
haven't seen it come off his
I
chest.
didn't see that.
comes-
I
it
must
comes
I
have
off
didn't
need
see
to
it
look
come
at
off
it
his
again.
chest, but I
That's it.
believe Chaz.
It comes off his chest. I mean, it's not like
Maybe like bad
clear and
angles.
obvious, but it does come off his chest.
Kieran, what did you think about the Gabriel handball?
My main problem with all of these penalties is we've seen them given in other games. Do you know what I mean? And one's obviously not to sound like we're going on a broken record, but you either give them all or you don't give any of them. But we're seeing ones given a 3 o'clock kickoff and not given it on a 5 o'clock kickoff. We see obviously it's very close, but again, that hand is probably in the most unnatural position possible. Like. So
I'd rather them not be given personally. From like the Dan Burn one, there was a Bournemouth one, and there was a Villa Palace. I think Villa Palace had one as well.
Yeah, Palace.
And they've all been given, so they have to give it. I'd rather them not
mean,
because
yeah,
you're that far away from each other.
What-
But if
what
you're
hurt the
if you're
most
starting to
is-
give them, you're giving them.
So it
Yeah,
comes
the
off
only
his
thing-
it comes off his left chest plate.
It does,
there.
yeah. Which then potentially does direct it into his arm. But the thing is, right, is that firstly they are the only things that I can think that the referees have spoke about is that they are very, very close, and that they've seen it come off his chest, and that the arm, right? Asip said that it's not in that it's in one of the most unnatural positions going. I don't actually think it is. His arm is like kind of like by his side, but as he's like jumped to go block it, his arms like come up. I don't think like one of the most unnatural positions would be like
it's
an
not
arm
the
like
most-
fully
I
stretched
don't
out.
think, Chaz, I've ever done this in my life.
Yeah, it wasn't. That's
Still,
like if I was sitting here going like this, you go, Sip, you're right.
I get what you're saying, but but I think you've seen a lot more blatant, handballs than that.
But
like,
you've
it's
seen
not.
that where their arms are down by their side and it's hit
And
their
we've seen
hand
it.
when it's down by. You've seen it given when a cross hits off their arm and it's down by their side. That
Yeah.
in the scale of
Yeah,
When,
no.
things we've
when their
seen
arms
is-
by their side and they've turned their back, and we've seen them given. And
Yeah.
then 24 hours prior to that game, we saw Dan Burn have his back complete to the ball, not know where the fuck it is, and his arm's there, and it's hit it, and it's been given.
But I don't
So-
think I don't think them two are alike at all.
One can't see the ball, one can. One's
But-
closer,
but
one's not.
One's
And they both-
gone to block the ball for a challenge, and Dan Burns' arm is behind him all the way out. Well, I don't think that they're
But
similar at
it's
all.
when Dan Burns coming back down. So I'm comparing it as in if your hand is above your shoulder and it hits it, unless you are millimeters away and it has been absolutely slammed at you, which then it's just in the referee's judgment.
Yes,
But the fact VAR have checked it and said, no.
the only thing I'm thinking
That's
is
what-
literally
Yeah.
the fact that they are so close together and it's hit his chest first. It's the only thing that they can be
Grazed
talking
his
about.
chest.
That's all it could be.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
without that, it's a penalty. That's the only thing that it can be.
in my opinion, you've got very fortunate to get away with that because we've seen majority of them given this season.
We did get away with that one.
I've-
100%.
I think that's the thing is that Arsenal just got fortunate because we have seen 75-80% of those given and given for less.
Yeah.
the one thing
so-
has been relatively
as-
consistent this year
Yeah.
until today. Well,
Shot for
yesterday.
Arsenal. We're going to the one that
Man
was
says shock.
given.
Man says shock for us.
We're going to the one that
Box
was
office.
given for Arsenal.
No, just quickly, though,
Oh, well.
it is funny, right? Because in previous years, it has always been Arsenal fans crying about decisions going against them, and in previous years, it has always been they got their nickname for a reason, right? Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It is absolutely hilarious to see Liverpool fans in
Download.
absolute meltdown because they finally something goes against them. It is quite funny.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it does feel good.
We all enjoy Liverpool fans' demise, like really.
Yeah.
Watching Brad upset it's always
Right.
good.
You know what's
36
even
tweets.
you know what's even better when you see the tweets come in after Hendo's been moved to right wing. That beautiful.
Bro, Klopp had a
Honestly.
meltdown.
But yeah,
That-
let's
he
go.
did.
That's a
to
whole new
let's
topic.
go to the Arsenal penalty. I think
Can
it
I
was
just
soft.
ask? Let me go round. Right. Just say yes or no. Was it a pen?
No.
Cal,
Whoa,
Aaron?
guys.
Honestly, no.
Chaz,
I think it was.
Kieran.
I say yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah, you can pick up.
I don't know what's going on.
Copley.
Yeah. There's an asterisk. above
Just yes
mine.
or no. Just yes or no.
Just yes or no. I'll go no.
Right. So I'm gonna
Brand-
go no, purely because I don't think there was enough in it. But
The more I
in
watch
today's
it,
game, I
it
can see why.
infuriates me.
One thing Virgil said it, and I think it was a very good point. I think lots of football fans have said it before, but especially for challenges like that, they should be played in full speed
Yeah.
because then you can see the
actual
severity of the
momentum.
tackle a lot more.
And-
For like for a high foot where, like for example, the Virgil one where on Anana, where like he hits him but drags down very quickly. I think maybe that's okay, so you can see how high up he's
Right.
gone.
So
But for tackles like that, I'd like to see him play full speed.
I actually think it looks worse in full speed. In slow speed, I think it looks very, very, very soft.
Right.
But the thing I will say, right, is that the ref's given the penalty on the game.
field.
Right? It wasn't VAR giving the penalty; it was the ref.
Mm.
And the thing with VAR that seems to be so, people get so confused about is that theoretically VAR is there to correct clear and obvious errors from the referee's point of view, right? The simple fact is that Jesus has got to the ball first, and
he kicks the back of
Thiago
the
has kicked him or hit him or whatever in the back
Grazed
of the
him.
leg.
Stroked him.
He's
No,
made quite-
it-
It doesn't
How
matter.
how many times have you seen a player's gone to kick it and then an opponent puts their leg in front of it, and you think,
And
oh,
it's
he
a
didn't even
penalty.
see you, it wasn't even. But that's
But
the
they,
way.
but, they, but they give it. And the,
Oh,
the
yeah,
simple
yeah.
fact is, I personally don't think that it was clear enough and obvious enough error to overturn the decision. I really don't. And
Mm.
I think
I
it
would
was
love-
possibly the softest of the soft penalties you'll see this season. It's up there.
So
Yeah,
I'd love to
but I think
agree
it's
with
a
you right now,
penalty.
right? But when like VAR is like that is why it was brought in, absolutely brilliant. It's not used like that though. So sure, I would
That's
love
how
to
it
say
should be used. That's what it's invented
no,
for.
100%, but it's not. Even in this game alone, take outside of this decision, it's not. It hasn't been used for that in this game either.
But that
If
doesn't
you're going
matter,
for
though.
consistency, then I get your point. But in
But-
it was used perfectly because obviously, if you slow it down and look at VAR, there is contact. Therefore, there's nothing clear and obvious enough that the ref's made wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he hasn't. He's seen the contact. He's called the pen. They've gone. It's soft, but there is contact.
I think if if we look at every single thing that he's let go in this game, and then he gives that.
Yeah, I think
that is why for me, especially in the moment yesterday, watching it, and then seeing the replays obviously last night, it's like, how are you letting half the other tackles go when there is potential for actual quite a lot of harm, sorry, and then you give that as a penalty. That in that part of the game, in a big match like this, these are the kind of things you let go because of the game.
I look at. I was just going to say, I look at VAR and I think, and decisions, and I think if that was given against my club, would I be annoyed about it?
Yes, you would.
And if that penalty was given against Arsenal, I'd be fuming. So
Be
that's why I don't think that's a penalty.
But this is the issue because everyone's out there calling for consistency, and as Sip just said, the amount of times that you see identical things happen where the player gets to the ball first, and gets clipped by another player or gets whatever, and the pen gets given.
But I think there's even more contact in those kind. I think there's more contact in those kind of like fouls you're talking about there. But
the simple fact is that Jesus got to the ball first, and then Thiago came from behind.
Kicked. Please don't say kicked. He didn't kick him.
Well, he's placed his leg down the back
he
of
did
his
not
calf,
kick him.
Kicking
is an action. Kicking is an action of kicking out.
Yeah.
He did not kick him.
Well, let's put it this way, right? Thiago wasn't trying to control the ball in his 6-yard box. He was trying to clear the ball. So he was trying to do something.
He made contact with Jesus. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Minimal contact. Minimal contact.
He made contact.
Sitting on the fence, was Jesus going to control that ball?
No, and he didn't control the ball.
No, he didn't. Did he shoot? No, he didn't either. And I think that's the other thing that probably Liverpool fans and other fans are probably thinking that's why it's soft, because he's not. He's
played for it. He's played for it.
He has played for it, and that's why I don't think.
I just say, but with that, you can say, how many times have you seen a keeper, a player one-on-one with a keeper, knocks it past the keeper, never get into it, gets taken out, and it's a pen.
It's smart from Jesus getting his leg out first. Don't go wrong. The foul in itself.
Yeah.
My only issue is if they're being given the amount of other ones that should then technically be given.
That's
the issue that we're going to arise. If minimal contact like that there's going to be so much more.
I think the last point I want to make is if we're saying that's a penalty in the eyes of the law, sure, we'll say it's a penalty in the eyes of the law. But then, do we want to see that week in, week out of that kind of contact being given away for penalties?
I can almost guarantee you, in 2 minutes when this game kicks off, something will happen like that, and it won't be given. With the way shit's going, I can almost guarantee it. With the fucking handball era this weekend on its own.
Consensus from this game, the ref has had a mare through the majority of it and made two, in the majority between us anyway.
In the eyes of the law, there is contact in a non-contact sport supposedly, but it's just not enough for me.
5 cameras isn't enough. Can we also point
out? And also 5 cameras.
True, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, for the VAR.
But there would be a reason. It's not like I do anything wrong. It's just they obviously have to be like. It has to be like confirmed and certified by the Premier League and stuff like that.
We haven't even seen the lines, so like surely if they could see it, it just makes me feel like they've gone. It's close. We'll give it benefit.
Well, I mean,
they clearly can't see it.
Rashford got it.
He was on side. They do the lines.
Arsenal done fucking
Second
well
half, Arsenal very good. Klopp's lost the plot.
Again, the last point. Arsenal deserve the 3 points. They dominated the majority of the game.
My last point is that the second half.
Can I have a last point?
The second half gave me confidence that we have the ability to be there or thereabouts when it comes to the end of the season in regards to like second and third. It did give me some confidence, and I mean I think it would also would have given the Arsenal players. I said before the game, or I said it on Twitter to someone. I said that this game, like whoever wins it, it has the potential to do the absolute world of good for either team. And I think for Arsenal, it has the potential to do an extreme amount of good.
You've done well.
Again, I know we're trying to move on, but would you really class in current season Liverpool as that kind of big fight for second, third over the likes of potentially Chelsea?
No, I mean
we've got to look at them over the past 5 years. That's the main thing, isn't it? They've been first, second, third, fourth.
They started this way last season as well. Not this bad, but they didn't get off to the best start.
No,
so we never know. We'll see after the World Cup. But yeah, Arsenal done well. Better of the two sides deserve the 3 points. Copley, you are the designated team of the week picker. So please do me the grand honours of pissing Aaron and Chaz off.
I can't wait.
Holy shit! I got.
Are we on? We're on.
Not just me and Aaron, mate.
I
think it's going to piss a few people off.
Holy shit!
So Aaron, it's my team of the week.
Sorry.
So starting goal, we have my man David De Gea. Now I will say I did have Lloris until about 5 hours ago, but then I realised Brighton had like 4 shots on target. So I don't remember him making any saves.
I think you can see one of them, but that's always a good one.
For De Gea's name in there, for once, he left his line and his distribution was pretty good. He made a very important save late on, and I mean, the goal is an Iwobi banger that Brick would love, so he ain't going to do much about that. Now, I didn't watch all the games, so I put De Gea in. And I'm also biased, so I'm happy to admit that.
Go on. Right, let's start with that
right back. We'll start the left back straight away. Tubbs has made it in. Now, I actually think he had a good game. He's obviously been out for a while for, what's his name, Malacia. Came back in. No, he did have a good game. And the one thing I did like about him is his interview with England was completely different to a lot of players, especially I think Maguire does interviews and he'll fucking moan about, we've seen it recently, he'll moan about everything else except him, but Shaw took it upon himself, said, look, I've been playing poorly, it's fine, I'll get my chance, and he had a good game.
I think, just on the Luke Shaw thing, I think putting in Luke Shaw in a game where you played Everton and
Whoa. Last week we talked about how Everton are doing well.
Yeah, but they've scored like 8 goals. So we ain't talking about the defence, right? But
where's Sessignon? Hey,
right. But that's what I'm going to say, right? You've got Sessignon.
I didn't think about that. I didn't think about Sessignon.
And you got Sessignon, who had an absolute stormer of a game.
In hindsight, I should have put Sessignon in.
Let's get through the team. Let's get through the team and then discuss.
Because I looked at Spurs. I looked at Spurs' defence. I looked at Spurs' defence, and I was like, I should put a centre back in. And I was like, I didn't think. I didn't even think about Sessignon.
I feel like there's potentially 2 or 3 people that could.
I know you're going to say Tomiyasu. Now, the only reason that, you mentioned it before, but the reason I haven't put Tomiyasu in is I think he did all right. Don't get me wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. But I also thought it was made very easy from the crossfield balls going straight to his head feet. I don't really think Salah touched the ball that much.
I mean, from what I saw from the Everton United game, they also love the fucking majorly long cross ball as well.
I put him in going forward. He was very good going forward, considering how sloppy we were.
Well, we can both be in agreement that Shaw shouldn't be in there.
Yeah, Sessignon should be in there.
We can all be in agreement that Copley shouldn't do team of the week every week.
Yeah.
Sorry,
we got Koulibaly. I didn't watch the game, but apparently he played well.
Yeah,
kept a clean sheet, and he's unreal on FIFA. He's my man, so he gets in.
In Koulibaly.
João Cancelo is in, goal and assist. We had it in the brief. I don't know if we took it out. I think best fullback in the world.
Cancelo.
Any disagreements? Yeah.
In current form, yeah.
Definitely. Yep, definitely.
Well, I think even last season.
I think even if he has an average fucking.
I think obviously again I don't watch every league week in week out, but definitely in the Premier League. And then I had Trips or Botman, but I went with Trips because he got me an assist in FPL. It was a wonderful ball. Yeah, it was a wonderful ball, and he's had a pretty solid game. And we'll move into the midfield. We'll start with Cal's boy Mount. He played all right. Anyway,
Money Mace.
Money Mace had a good game. I think he got an assist.
He got 2.
You get 2 assists.
Yeah,
I saw the Havertz one, which is a stinker from Jose Sarr. And then I put Onana in. Casemiro got man of the match from BT Sport. Don't know what game they were watching. Not sure.
Onana was phenomenal.
Considering Everton weren't great. Considering Everton weren't good, Onana was he was a problem all over the pitch.
I don't think they like to give man of the match to like losing teams.
I know, but even Casemiro getting there I thought was weird. Because he got an assist, but he was either very good or dog shit. So, but Onana, we've given him a bit of love before. He had a good game. And then Bruno Guimaraes, 2 goals. Brand mentioned him earlier. I think, is it fair to say he started a little bit slower this year in general?
He was injured.
I know, at the very start.
Bruno, we didn't. I mean, he played well the first couple of games, right? Obviously, we had that run of draws, didn't we? So,
in comparison to his form last year, and I think, obviously, very, very good game. Martinelli again played all right, I guess. Didn't do bad.
He was unreal.
He was quite good. Happy, get over it. No, he played very well. Good goal. Did he get an assist? He got an assist as well, didn't he? Yeah, he did. The second one,
dummy by Gabriel, I must say.
Gabriel, he learned off the other Gabriel. It was unbelievable.
He also dummied it for Diaz.
Fuck you.
I've put Billing in because he scored day 1. Bournemouth at 8th. They deserve a bit of love. Aaron's got his hand up.
I do. Why have you put Billing, who's a centre mid, in striker?
He plays
up top with Solanke.
Does he play centre forward?
And that's why you're not doing the team of the week.
Can you edit that out, Cal? Can you edit that out really quickly?
That's why he's not allowed to speak, folks.
And to round the team of the week off, we have Philip Foden, who we said a good few weeks ago
we need to see more from him.
We need to see more from him. And
he's done
the past 2 or 3 games even, he's been very, very good. I think he got another goal and an assist.
And the manager?
And the manager, I actually did have Arteta, but then I thought about it. I was like, the ref was that bad, and I didn't want Aaron to be too happy. I texted him. I said, you know what? After ESPN released that thing, I was like,
I'll read out. So he goes, I also wanted to pick Eddie Howe. I was going to say Eddie Hurton. Eddie Howe, but I'm going to put Arteta. Wait for them to gas it, and then say this is why I hate Arsenal fans. So therefore, I'm changing it to Eddie Howe.
I could have put Arteta. I did. I had him, and then I thought VAR decisions. He does get a lot of praise that second half, but I remember Eddie Howe 5-1 demolishing of Brentford, and it was a very, very comfortable game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No arguments over the manager. Not for me.
No,
In hindsight, I take out Shaw and put Sessegnon in. I completely forgot about him.
Understandable.
I was sitting here, when you reluctantly mentioned Martinelli, I was sitting here thinking back to the start of the season, like pre-season podcast, when we were sitting here discussing PFA Young Proud of the Year awards, yeah, and I think we all sat here and we went, no, Trent, easy, he's going to win it, right? That bloke ain't winning it this year, not a chance in hell.
That bloke ain't winning a flight to Qatar at this rate.
Mate, he's got to score a hat trick a game for the rest of the season to be in with a chance.
He's got to learn how to defend.
Yeah, he's got to do his fucking job
at this point, because he's not going forward from what I can see. I mean, in the Arsenal game, he didn't venture forward, didn't do anything.
That team of the week is, I would say, a pretty fair, acceptable team of the week. I think all our team of the week so far have been quite representative of the players that are in form for that game week. I don't think many people, apart from you two, could have many complaints about that team of the week. Obviously,
special shout out Cristiano Ronaldo, 700 goals, phenomenal.
CR 700.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy.
700
he did play,
goals
considering,
as well.
considering he played all right in the week, but he couldn't score for shit.
Did you see the bloke that ruined the celebration?
No.
Do you know how Ronaldo and Anthony done their celebration?
Yeah.
Did you see the Everton fan in the background of it?
No.
Has no one seen it?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't
It's
seen
an Everton fan going like that, right in the middle of them. It's fantastic. Can I ask a question, Cal?
Yes, maybe, mate.
It's everyone. Can I do the team of the week next week?
No.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Perfect.
Who are Arsenal playing?
Are you not
Leeds? Oh, shock.
We're just going to roll over
goes
now,
wrong, by the way. If Leeds pull off a mad result, clip this and.
I bet there's 3 Leeds players in there.
You would. If Leeds beat Arsenal, then at least 2 Leeds players.
Give them the full 11.
Oh, you're on both days. You're on both days next weekend as well. Yeah, absolutely, you can do it.
Actually.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
What's the Saturday game? Oh,
I'm gonna close it.
Anyway, no, we'll talk about that later.
I'm gonna boot Chaz off.
Right.
Make sure to berate Brick and Jim in the comments.
Yeah, but once again, I just want to reiterate that Brick is shocking.
Please, look, I want to restate the push that we are doing for the Peppy Max.
So for anyone that has followed us on Twitter, you will see you had a slight interaction Monday morning with our very own favourite brand, Pepsi Max. We're all big supporters. We drink it all day, every day. We're begging, please. Yeah. We'll do anything. Anything.
Oh.
And as you can see, Aaron is on board the bandwagon now.
I am.
As far as Jim, if you partner with us, we'll drop him.
But look, that was another fantastic episode, I'd say. We've got a lot off our chest, I think. I've been bottling that out for a few hours, you could say.
I can tell you ain't got changed from work.
Yeah, no, literally.
Easy bastard.
You're telling me. But anyway, make sure you if you're watching YouTube, give us a subscription. I don't actually know what we're on these days, but obviously follow all our other platforms. All the links will be in the description. 106 subscribers, and we'll see you again next week if you're not in the watch along at the weekend. Thank you. Good night.